Hey there, geometry. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Math with Mullins. Get your calculators ready because we are going to be looking at law of sines, so lots of calculations needed. So make sure you have those ready so we can find the area of triangles and then use law of sines to solve triangles. So law of sines shows the proportional relationship between angles and their opposite sides. It can be used to find side lengths and angle measures for all triangles. So typically we would use sine and cosine for right triangles, but today we're actually going to see how we can use them when the triangle isn't a right triangle. So given this triangle ABC, we can say that the sine of A over the side A is proportional to the sine of B over side B and is proportional to the sine of C over side C. So let's see what that looks like. Here we have an example of a triangle. One thing I like to do is just go ahead and label A, B, and C just to get that going for the sign of the law of sines. And then I notice that I have some numbers across from letters. So big B angle is going to be across from little b side. Big C angle is going to be across from little c side. And I don't have side A, which is okay because I'm going to do a combination of the B's and the C's. So using law of sines, I'm going to take the sine of 35 over 12 and set it equal to the sine of 71 over x. Here's where we're going to do some calculations. The first thing I'm going to do is cross multiply the sine of 71 times 12. And then that'll be equal to the sine of 35 times x. Okay? So the sine of 71 times 12 is going to be a big decimal, 11.34622229. And in order to solve for x, I'm going to have to divide by sine of 35. So I'm going to take this answer that I just got and divide by sine of 35. So divide by sine of 35. And I'm getting about 19.78, so we're going to round to the nearest tenth for these, 19.8. As we go through the lesson, I'm not going to show all the steps I had for my proportion. Instead, just focus on setting up the proportion correctly, typing it into the calculator, and giving it a go. So if you want to, go ahead and pause the video here and try this one on your own, and when you're ready to click play to check your work. Again, I like to label all the triangles as ABC so I can know what's the A side, what's the B side, and what's the C side. So I have the sine of B ready, sine 114 over x, and then I have another matching pair side, the sine of 18 over 5, okay? So for this one, I'm going to cross multiply the sine of 114 with 5. I get 4.56772728, and then I'm going to divide that by the sine of 18, and I should get about 14.78, so I'm going to round to 14.8. Next, if you want to pause the video here and try it on your own, go ahead. When you're ready to check it, click play. So first I labeled my A, B, and C just to see who I have matching. I have the sine of C ready to go, 58 over the matching pair side of 25. And then I'm trying to solve for x, which is side B, but I don't have the angle for side B, but something I could do is just take 180 and subtract my two angles already given to me in the triangle. So 180 minus 33 minus 58 is 89 degrees for angle B. So I can say the sine of 89 over x would be proportional to my C's. Cross multiplying, I'm going to multiply 25 times the sine of 89. I get 24.996, and then I'll divide that by the sine of 58. I'm getting 29.47, so we'll round that to x being 29.5. Okay? On the back, we have some more questions, but these are a little bit different because now we're going to find the inverse, which is looking for your angle measure. By now, you're kind of seeing that I'm just matching opposite angles with opposite sides. So we'll take the sine of 77 here over 14 and set it proportional to the sine of x over 9. Okay? When I cross multiply here, I'm going to do sine of 77 times 9 and equals to the sine of x times 14, okay? The sine of 77 times 9 is 8.76933, etc., and that's equal to the sine of x times 14. In order to start solving for x, I'm going to divide by 14 here. So 8.76 blah 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 divided by 14 gives me 0.626380756, and that's still equal to the sine of x. That's not solving for x yet, because what I'm going to do now is take the inverse of sine with that decimal. That's going to give me my angle measure. That angle measure is about 38.78, so let's just round it to say 38.8 degrees. Okay, so here you go. Here, let's try example 5. Go ahead and pause the video and try this one on your own, and when you're ready to check it, go ahead and click play. All right, I see my sine of x is missing, but it's paired up with 28, and I can set that equal to the sine of 25 equaling to 12. Let's go ahead and cross multiply first. So I'm going to take the sine of 25 times 28. I get 11.8331133, but then I'm going to divide that number by 12, and I get this decimal, 0.98610, blah, blah, blah. So that's equal to my sine of x. So to find that angle measure, I'm going to take the inverse sine of this degree, or of this decimal, and I'm going to get 80.4 degrees. Just rounding to the nearest tenth for all of these. Last one, go ahead and try example 6 on your own, and when you're ready to check it, go ahead and click play. So again, we have our opposite angles and opposite sides. The sine of 94 is paired up with 43, and the sine of x is paired up with 37. To solve this, I'm going to cross multiply and take sine of 94 times 37. I'm getting 36.90, and then I'm going to divide that by 43. I get 0.8583, etc., is equal to the sine of x. So I'm going to take that inverse sine on my calculator with this decimal here, and I'm getting 59.1 degrees for x. And there we have it. That's going to conclude our notes on law of sines. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we will catch you next time. Have a great day.